Hi everybody! So today for my family movie night recommendation, I am doing the 22nd Disney animated classic, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And this may be a film that you might have a harder time getting your older children and teens to watch, but I think in a way that's a little bit of a shame because it has so much to offer beyond just entertainment for toddlers. It's one of my favorite Disney animated films. I put it as number 6 in the ranking of my Disney animated canon. Last year I tore my MCL in my knee and I reviewed the entire Disney animated film canon, all 54 films. I'll put a link in the description section to the blog. You can check out all the reviews, including the review of this film. And The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is actually a collection of 3 animated shorts that were made from the periods of 1966 to 1974. And these are Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, which is a delightful story. A great thing about Winnie the Pooh is that he takes everything on face value and he goes by instinct, like a kid. Kids can be absolutely very thoughtful, but they tend to go off of instinct. They see that, I want it, I'm going to go get it, and that's the way that Winnie the Pooh is. And so he sees a bee and he thinks bees lead to honey. I want honey. I'm going to follow that bee, and then I'm going to dress like a rain cloud, and then I'm going to go and get the bees. And it's just so lovely and funny, and the music by the Sherman Brothers throughout the whole movie is just delightful. There is great narration from Sebastian Cabot, which kind of breaks the fourth wall. You actually see him talking to Pooh and helping him through different circumstances, and it's very, very funny. And then the next film in the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is the Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, and this was made in 1968, and it is actually won the Academy Award for Best Animated Short that year, and it's, I think, the best of the 3 shorts, even though I think they're all strong. And it tells the story of Winnie the Pooh, and there's a day with a great storm, and in fact so great a storm that there becomes a river where there used to be the road. Well, there's sort of 2 main conflicts of the story. One is that Pooh hears about heffalumps and woozles and that they steal honey. This leads to a great segment where Pooh has a dream where he sees the heffalumps and woozles, and it is great. It has a very surrealist feel to it, and it seems like something very similar to the Elephants on Parade sequence in Dumbo. And I love it. If your kids like darker themes, and it's kind of surprising that in a film that is aimed at very small children that they would have a segment that is as dark as heffalumps and woozles, but it's really, really fun. And then the other part of the movie is this storm comes and it tears down Owl's house, and so him and Eeyore have to search for a new house, and they end up finding Piglet's house. And Piglet has this grand oak tree that he lives in and is very proud of. But Owl is in need of a house, and he thinks that this could be his house. So Piglet, out of the generosity of his heart, decides to give Owl his house. And he doesn't have anywhere to live. I mean, that's how, it's really a touching moment. You know, and people say, well, where were you going to live? And he says, I don't know where I'm going to live. And Pooh says, you will live with me. And it's just beautiful. It's great. And also great music in that short from the Sherman Brothers. And then the last short is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. And in this one, basically the main point is that they try to change Tigger and to get him to stop bouncing, because particularly Rabbit is tired of the bouncing. And of course this makes Tigger very, very depressed. And the real Tigger is missing, and people want him back. And it's a good lesson for all of us, you know, that we try to change people because we don't like something that they do, when really it's our, if somebody's annoying us, if somebody's bothering us, it's our responsibility to change, not necessarily for them to change their behavior if it's not really hurting anybody. And so it's a good lesson for Tigger, and it's a good lesson for Rabbit and everybody else. And so those are the 3 shorts, and then the ending is, I think, perfect. The director, Wolfgang Reitherman, did such a good job combining all 3 of these films he was the director, I think, on all 3 of the shorts, and he did such a good job combining all 3 films so that it feels like a coherent story. It doesn't necessarily feel like 3 shorts put together, like the package films, for him. So he adds this ending, which is so beautiful, where Christopher tells Pooh that he has to grow up and that he can't do nothing anymore, even though that's what he loves most of all. And he asks Pooh, he says, "Will you forget me? Will you always remember me?" And Pooh says, "Of course I will. I promise. I promise I will always remember you." And I just think that's so lovely because none of us want to be forgotten. And in many ways, it's a lot like Inside Out. You know, Riley is facing this change. She's not a little girl anymore. She's not going to be the goofy, silly person that she was before. And she says to her parents at the end that I need this to be okay with you. And it's kind of similar to what Christopher is telling Pooh. And it's just beautiful and wonderful, and I love it. It makes me cry. I think it is great. And so it's, again, I know that this is probably a tough sell, but the animation is wonderful. It does have dark, scary moments. It has light, funny moments. The dialogue is very funny with the narrator, with Owl, gets a lot of good jokes. So that is my thoughts on, if the only flaw that I really see in the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is I wish there was more female characters. There's really only one in Kanga, who's a motherly figure. That is it. But it's still a total delight, and if you do watch it with your family, put in the comment section below. Let me know if you're able to convince an older kid to find something to enjoy about Winnie the Pooh. And I'd be really curious to know. And please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have a great day. And thanks so much. Bye.